I apologize. I apologize. I was using the little cupcake room. I was using that little cupcake room. I mean, there are many cases of me being late, but there's not. Okay, it's actually been increasing recently. I'm trying to get it to decrease being late. But hello, Anthony. How you doing? Hello, Mr. Car Mad. You're a very mad car. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How you doing? How you doing? Oh. So I might have to run away on the stream a couple of times because we've got deliveries being made today. Ah, sorry, my volume's being weird. Cuptle, how loud are you?
Pog online poggers.
Okay, no, you're a bit too loud there. Okay, there you go, that's fine. Let's take it again.
Pog online poggers.
Okay, that's better. That's better. It's not being picked up by the microphone as much. But here we go. Oh gosh, my wires are all criss and cross. Oh no, 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 that's not good. But it's fine. It's fine. Do, 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 do. Oh, I thought you were going to say you were going to be tethered to the little cupcake room. No, no, no. I mean, I might be a little bit because I have been this morning. Because my stomach's still being a bit funny with me. Well, it's always a bit funny with me, but being a bit funnier than even normal. But it's fine. It's fine. Oh gosh, kind of. Not really. I was working on the big old battle wagon more, or battle fortress, whatever you want to call it. Where do we go? Where do we go? We go here. We go here. Yeah, look at the big old battle fortress. Oh, why is my chat broken on my phone again? Come on, X. There we go. Just reloading chat. So here we go. I've tried like adding rust coming down the side. I thought that would be good. But I'm not sure how it looks. I might try adding some orange into that. I just tried using some of that gore runter for brown and just like super watered down. And I hope, like, I've seen other people where you just put it on the side and then it just like dribbles down. Except I've just put it on the side, it just stuck there like a big old droplet. So then I ended up having to just brush it down so it's not exactly like gravity. Like you can see, it's a bit an angle. So it's... But yeah. Hi Bob Dean Keeper, how you doing? Saturday morning cartoon fortress. What do you mean Saturday morning cartoon fortress? This is a super serious, super shooty Dakar fortress. Oh goodness. I can hear a beeping outside. But yeah, I've got some deliveries that were meant to be for tomorrow but for arriving today. What else did I do? Oh yeah, I've been working more on doing all the little goblins and the squig. Is it me or does the camera feel a bit darker right now? Yeah, I've been trying to work on this squig. And I don't know how well you can tell on this camera. But he needs a lot more work. That bit little there, his mouth's meant to be black. There's bits of pink on the blue that needs to be cleaned out. You can see like his face needs another coat of the black. His arm greenness needs to go up to here and go a bit over the blue and over there. It's not that obvious on this camera, but it's super obvious when I took a picture of my phone. So there's just a lot more work of going over them again that I have to do. And same with this guy at the side of his face. I also forgot to do his little thing on his head. The strap. But everything else, it's slowly coming together. Oh yeah, I also tried putting Carrienberg flesh under this because I thought it would look good doing onto those wires. I was like, hi Tanuki, how you doing? I was thinking a kind of camo or some darker colour would look good on the main body. It was just a big block of colour otherwise. Maybe. I was thinking about trying to do like a camo, like a beige and brown camo on it. Yeah, I tried putting Carrienberg Flesh Shade, I think it's called, on this. Thinking, oh, it's a red shade. Maybe it'll be good on the wires. And one, I should have watered it down more. Two, I never knew that it dried to kind of shiny, which is good for when you're doing blood and stuff like that. But for these wires, they're very oily wires, it looks like. But yeah. I'm hoping, rather than doing camo and stuff, I'm going to do like a wash on these things. So it will look more like this. And then like add rust and stuff. And I think I'll do like rust around all of these different things. A bit more. Just something to make it non-homogeneous. Yeah, and then I'm also going to like add, once it's all painted fully, I'm going to add, like, have some watered down paint, blue paint, and then like paint blue things onto it. Maybe some text or whatever, I'm not sure. Just to, because I feel like I need more blue on the model. But yeah, so we definitely need to work on him more. But most of our block colours pretty much done. The only one that we're really lacking at the moment is more of a Nastrag yellow. So this, not that one, this one. This orangey colour that's here as well. Put it around these edges here, around that thing, around there, and some red on that thing, some Nastrag yellow there. And I think that's mostly it. And then, yeah, the same on the other side. Over here. Oh, and then on the guns as well. These front guns. Once we've got that done, I just need to neaten some stuff up, like, because this looks like a real mess. The other storm feed contrast on the shields. I need to get it smoothed out a little bit. Make it look nicer. And just in general try neating up various areas. Reichland Flesh Shade, it dries nicer. Carrierberg is more glossy finish. Yep. But I didn't know Flesh. I was gonna risk trying Reichland, but I wasn't sure it would actually be better or not. But one thing I want to do now is, I mean, the Carrienberg Flesh Shade was pretty decent here on the squig, but I do feel like I needed to wash it down because it kind of removed that orange to yellow to red gradient I had going on. And just turned it all into red. But yeah, what I'm thinking is just take a knife to this and just scratch away some of the, carefully and lightly, just scratch at where it's dried a bit too goopy and thick for my liking. It's a bit like Null Oil in that respect, it can dry. Because Agrac's Earth Shade doesn't have the exact same issue. Well, it depends, some of the shades are really goopy and they will clump up and dry if they're not watered down enough. Some of the shades aren't quite like that. But you can't really know these things without experimentation. Or, you know, I guess you can always just look it up. But I mean, where's the fun in that? Okay, I don't think I want this one yet. We'll get some of our red bow contrast back onto this to cover up some of that Carrienberg. I had watered it down, but very clearly not enough. When it came to the other stuff. But yeah, after we've got all of these block colours done and neatened up and stuff, what I want to do is, I think the next stage will be getting the metals done. I think we're very close to getting those metals done. As I see, you've done green and yellow stuff like I did. My lenses. No, it's Tesseract Glow with a layer of Bad Moon Yellow on it. It's just contrast. For this stuff here, for that one and this one, that's what I did. For this guy, it's just Bad Moon Yellow, but I just had a load of the Storm Fiend contrast still on it. So it ended up just looking a bit weird. But yeah, I just did a layer of Tesseract Glow and then tried making it look a little bit nicer with much radioactive. Yeet! Yeah, it's on... Where I did that was here, here, and those things there. The skin is just greens, but since we're using a yellowish initial shade, it's fine. There we go. What I'm thinking though is, where's my orange? There we go, Magdoff Flame. Thinking of taking this watered down and trying to do a little bit of a rust runoff with it. Okay, that should be good. Because I'm not sure I really like the rust at the moment. Think of a bit of... Okay, maybe more watered down than that. Hard trying to get the correct consistency. It's a very vibrant orange. Just adding it into here. Okay, how does that look? Does that look rusty? Rustier? Wait, Anthony should know this. Your name's Rusty Anthony. You should know exactly what rust is like. I mean, all my experiences is rust is it's a kind of orangey more than it is brown. But I feel like a machine will also have a lot of oil within that rust. Especially if it's something that's effectively sat in a hot scrap pile for some time. Hello, Tony. How you doing? We're trying to... How does that look? Kind of looks like a spilt tomato ketchup all over it. Like someone had a spaghetti lunch and they like tripped up in some sort of really cartoony manner and just threw it all over the side of a vehicle. The legend of true conjurer's painting. I've been painting for like the past week, Alan. Over. It's true, I am very aware of rust. You'll be coming from concave corners, that's where water will have flowed, yeah. Trying to follow the lines and stuff as well. Nastrag yellow. Skeleton horde. Is it? Gorgunter fur. I think a mixture of these two is very important. Like if this one we definitely want very watered down because we don't want it to appear too heavily brown. Should I buy weathering effects of vehicles and war paints? Never! They should definitely be coming from all of these screws, I feel like. And it pulls around here. Just add the brown to it to give it a more oily effect. Because where it goes rusty, it will go rougher. And where it's rough, it's more likely to collect dirt and grime. It passes on a horizontal grooves, it will spread out. Yeah. Every time I show war points, they kiss me on the forehead before I go to sleep. That's not good. Okay, I need to just move this mat a little bit. And yeah, we'll just go along these lines. Along these areas. We definitely have run under the underside of a lot of these things. There we go. Now that looks like a rusty mess. I feel like maybe it was better before with it being less of it. Also, that feels way more orange on camera than it does in real life. Maybe I need to mess with my camera settings a little bit. She copied your hair colour, Rusty approves. Now I need to just like change my settings a little bit here. Okay, video capture device. Let's configure video. That's a saturation that needs to come down. Okay, it's not that desaturated. Okay, I think that's closer to reality. Still not perfect though. I think it's not too bad for an experimentation of it. I think we can always go back over the colours to make it a bit less. Oh no, maybe it's good. Maybe it is. Oh, we should definitely have had it more on top, but whatever. Got other stuff to paint. So, what do I want to do next? Let's get this red done. We'll get a thinner brush out. We'll see what should be good enough. And what we want to do is paint a lever here. Oh, a lever. Clunk. The old red lever. And then we'll look at the squig needed some areas where it needed a bit of work on it. Kind of difficult without the right light. Shining in here. Oh gosh, my tummy made noises. There we go. And I think I want to get the blue and green done around there. Oh gosh, how's everyone doing today though? Where's my drink? Got some apple juice. Oof. By the way, does anyone else struggle drinking plain water? Like for some reason, drinking just generic water like from the tap always makes me gag. It's just like, bleh. I can drink flavoured water. I can even drink some spring waters and stuff. Water from the tap. Never. Oh. It's got the water that I normally have. It's just being sold out everywhere. Oh gosh, my shaky hand is not good. These are the areas, so I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have glued the gobbos in. Maybe not. Or maybe they should have been magnetized or something.
There's a simple solution to gagging on the water. Stop trying to inhale the faucet.
Stop trying to inhale it. I'm confused. How else do you drink water? That's not, it's the flavour that gets me. I read somewhere that the reason, possible reason so many people struggle just drinking plain water might be an evolutionary thing where the likelihood of, finding plain water in real life that wasn't flavoured by something was actually super low. And as a result, it's kind of unnatural. Our bodies instinctively just reject it. Or some of our bodies do. Collected rain. I don't think collected rainwater's good unless you filter it and stuff. Now, the best tap water was definitely school tap water. Because they hadn't replaced their lead pipes yet, so it was sweetened by that sweet, sweet lead. I'm joking with you, by the way. I did not drink lead water at school. Just because you're not died from something yet doesn't mean it's good. Hi, Rich Canny. How you doing? What's this about the taste of lead? We're talking about water and like tap water and stuff. Because I struggle just drinking plain water. And the best water I've had, like tap water, is from the school. My school where they never replaced the lead pipes. But that was a joke. It wasn't sweetened by the lead. X-Ray's green! Well, hello. It goes well, and how about yourself? I randomly show up. Yeah, I'm doing okay. We're trying to just paint a little goblin here. Well, a grot. It's not a gobbo. It's a grot. But I really wish we had a goblin faction in 40k. Like a proper one. Like fantasy half. I just love me goblins. I have to get some moot green onto this thing instead. Gonna be better than using contrasts. Yeah. But you could custom for your leagues of photon. No, if the leagues of photon are too tough, or like toughness 5 and 4+ armor saves. Yes, me. And just too strong and skilled and stuff like that. What you need is... Oh, suspect me, sorry. I sneezed. I just want a faction of ragtag gobbos. I guess the Elder could be closer. Because, you know, for all toughness 3 with 5+ armor saves, but then they're exceptionally skilled. So maybe not. Guardsman you could maybe do it with. Well, it's not like any faction that's like toughness 2. No! That gobbo broke off again. Leagues of Paunch. Gromda Paunch. No, I don't like Gromda Paunch. I want like Night Goblins or something. Or Forest Goblin equivalents. I mean, if Fantasy and Age of Sigmar can get it, why not our gobbos? I feel like thanks to the Red Gobbo, we kind of get teased off Goblin factions in 40k. Or Grot factions. But that's all it is, tease. Oh, my tum-tums. My tummy's all grumbly. My tummy has the rumblies that only hands can fill. Aww. Didn't know League was that tough. Any excuse to make them super gobbos powered by super gobbo tech or something? A grot revolution, yee! I think I'm gonna have to super glue this guy down because plastic glue just hasn't been working. I think it's just struggling to get enough connection points. We go Maid Lord. We got fed up of Orc treatment. Yeah, that actually is a thing. It's the Gobbo Revolution is canonical. It's just we don't have any official way to play them. The closest we can get is if you use legend rules and the Red Gobbo as your leader. And then just use Grots, Mech Guns, go with Dreadmob Detachment, Grots, Mech Guns, Killer Cans, and then add in things like the Legends Grot tanks and stuff. But the fact is, if you do go for grot infantry, you've got the rough herder. Gobbo mech suit. Yeah, it's mega armor. Boom, ba-dum, ba-da-ba-dum. And that's actually, honestly, how a lot of people do grots. If they want to do a grot army, they'll just go with the mega armor. And like they'll go for an orc mega war boss, except in the mega armor, it's a grot. Oh no, my hand slipped. Whatever. Very difficult painting these guys. Like I'm having to paint like this. Okay, how is it looking now? I want to be focused on it. Looks a little better. So zooming in with a camera is the easiest way to actually see what's going on with that goblin. Grot tanks and grot landships. Yeah, they also had the grot mega tank, which is basically just a normal size tank. But still better than a normal orky tank because it can actually roll to hit. Outside of melee. I do find it hilarious that arced vehicles, even this thing, is better in melee than it is in shooting. Like, they have surprisingly decent melee stats. It's crazy. To me, anyway. Yeah, it's just what I wish though is if you look at the fantasy book, you've got orc boys, you've got black orcs, you have orc chariots, you have orc big bosses, orc war bosses, orc war shamans, orc minor shamans, black orc big bosses, black orc bosses. You've then got boar boy riders, orc boy biggins, orc boy biggin boar boys, orcs of spears, orcs of spears. Well, the orc boys can be equipped in various ways. Then you got orc archers, arrow boys. In today's rules of pivot tax, the got landship cannot move after turning. Thus nothing that long and thin is turning on tracks without serious effort. Yeah, to be honest, that is kind of true. That used to be how pivoting worked anyway. Although you didn't have a pivot tax. Well, that being said, you also didn't have like a minimum that you could pivot, even if your movement couldn't deal with it. So it's like, if you wanted to turn this finger like this, you'd have to measure effectively from here to there, from here to where it should end up. But back then you also had a rule of you couldn't shoot a weapon unless the weapon could like turn, pivot to see it. So that meant turrets were great, but the turrets also took up your movement if you turned your turret. That meant if you want both your responses shooting forward and your turret to turn to shoot that way, you had to turn your turret. That being said, having a turret wasn't that useful for a little bit, because you couldn't split your weapon fire. Every weapon had to fire at the same target, but you also paid a tax for turning your turret, so you might as well just turn your entire vehicle. And that kind of made turrets pointless. But now you don't have to worry about stuff like that. Oh gosh. I'm not sure how I'm going to make the Storm Fiend contrast look better. At the moment it kind of sucks to look at. Yeah. Maybe I'll go over with a bit of this blue. Maybe that will help. Black Templar contrast. Once again, not closing properly. Orcs. But yeah, so you have all, oh yeah, in fantasy you have all these orc units, that's what I was talking about. But then you also have a load of goblin units. You've got squig riders, you've got squig herds, you've got night goblins and normal goblins. Both can be equipped in a variety of ways, including you can equip them as Araboys or Aragobos. You've got goblin wolf riders, you've got the goblin wolf chariots, you've got the mangler squigs, you've got your gobbo big bosses, and your night goblin big boss. You got your normal goblin war boss, your night goblin war boss. In the same way that an orc war boss can go on a wyvern, they can go on a giant squig. You got your gobbo spider riders and your Ragnarok spider. Hi, Skaven Dan. Hobgoblins, but we don't talk about those. Yeah, they're not part of the orc codex though. When you got your goblin fanatics and your goblin sneaky gits and stuff like that. Aren't there gobbo spider riders? Yeah, there's also gobbo spider riders. And what else are there? I like that turns of thing in Titanicus gives warhounds another layer of survivability by just sprinting outside of a firing arc of the slow titans. Yeet. Let's go say betrayed for orcs. Wait, who betrayed for orcs? For hobgoblins. Yeah, they kind of betrayed for orcs. The orcs are more accurately more like the black orcs who were serving under the Chaos Dwarves. Ended up rebelling alongside the hobgoblins who were also serving alongside them. But then the hobgoblins were like, hey, well, the Chaos Dwarves went, hey, here's a big old payment if you turn traitor and join us instead. And the hobgoblins were like, okay. So I don't know. Hobgoblins are fine. The sneaky gits did a bit of backstabbing. I'm shook. It's true. It's very shocking, I know. But yeah. Okay, I think it's finally time to get some Nastrag yellow done. Or the last of it, rather. Actually, no. There's a bit here I need to do. In black. I'd forgotten about this. Thing goes over here. Yeah, well, that's just the kind of thing that I want to have in 40k. Like, you got all these gobbo units in fantasy, proper gobbo bosses. And the same goes for Age of Sigmar, where you got the Gloom Spike it. I think the big thing comes in, will they actually sell well enough for it to be worth making in the end? I think that's one of the reasons why it's like we've regularly seen the Xenos lose out on stuff, because in the end it just wasn't worthwhile for Games Workshop to continue doing it. But for orcs in proper armor, in power armor, that's how orcs used to be. Have you seen first edition 40k? Orcs used to wear the same power armor that Space Marines did. Literally, it just looked like they took the exact same model and just glued an orc head to it. I'm not sure if I'll ever properly bring it back. And we got Orc Mega Armor, which is basically like Orc version of Terminator plate. Looted Beaky Armor. Yeet. There we go. Looking a little better than before. There's a little tool on this guy's belt, but yeah, I'm not going to be able to paint that properly. I can tell what I'm doing once I get the brush in there, it blocks the light. I don't mind painting in black under here because it's all in shadow anyway. Hello, Night Avenger, how you doing?
Time to eat a cupcake.
No! Why do orcs still call space marines beakies? There's barely any beaky marines anymore. There hasn't been for ages. Okay. So this is the best way to get actually a decent look at him. Well, he is looking a bit neater than before. I do need to fix some issues on the squig now. So we'll get some squig orange. Some squig orange we do. It looks blue from the top, but that's just because I spilt Talasaur blue all over it. Yeah, I think it's for Combat Patrol magazines that are arriving today. I have to keep an ear out for.
So, are the mech guns gonna have this main color on them as well? I assume that the boys have just been scrapping PDF stuff for any metal.
It depends. Anything that's guardsman looking is going to have this sort of colour scheme on. Anything that's space marine looking is probably going to go with ultramarine colours, and anything that is Imperial Knight looking will probably go for the Storm Fiend blues. I imagine a lot of what they get comes directly from like the cities and stuff. I do raiding merchants and not just the planetary defense forces. Because despite everything, orcs do generally prefer to go after the easy targets. If you give them if there's an easier target, they're gonna go for it. And that the planetary defense forces are not the easy target. That you'd like to think they are. There's maybe a bit too much there. Just trying to bring back some of that gradient that was lost in the squig. I'll make him look a little bit less shiny. There we go. Not easy, but still a good clumping. But yeah, I'm thinking a lot of it will be bare metal, like, you know, iron and bronze colours and goldy colours. But I imagine much of the stuff is just going to be painted blue. Like, these parts here are from the mech guns and they're blue. So I'm probably going to go with that. Partly also because it's just going to be quicker to do these sort of block blue colours like a lot of orc players do. Oh yeah, what do you think of this? If you look at the side, that thing there, I tried adding like a wood grain effect on it. On this. I think it looks okay. It looks like a wood grain, I feel like. I was trying to like practice doing like feathering onto it. Like a varnished wood. I mean, immediately it shouldn't be a varnished wood, but still. That's how it came out. Yeah, I'm thinking lots of stuff like look like that. I'm also thinking about having, do you know, one of the reasons I'm going for yellow and stuff on these things is because I like the idea that a lot of their stolen gear comes from Bad Moon arcs. Like there's some sort of rival, or used to be some sort of rival tribe around that was full of bad moons. I just like the idea that we've looted it all. Because Death Skulls steal from other orcs, probably more than they steal from anybody else. So probably be a lot of just mixing and matching of different colours and stuff just to represent the fact that all of it is looted. Or a lot of it is looted. It's hard to get under on this side. Oh gosh, my chat's broken again, sorry, on my phone. Yeah, probably be a mix of stuff. There we go. And let's just get some of this real yellow in. Make these yellows stand out a bit more. Yeah, the tribe, I'm thinking, was relatively small until relatively recently. Definitely gonna have to be a lot of neatening and stuff with this model. Hello! Enargia Capital. Hello, you love the arm sleeves. Ah, thank you. These are very tatty ones, though. So I don't have to worry about getting paint on them. In fact, I've already got some paint on them quite a bit in the past. But how you doing? One thing about arcs is that you don't necessarily have to be too neat with them. It's like, it's the paint not in the correct place. Or maybe that's because the arcs didn't bother doing it in the correct place. I'll try neatening it up to some extent where I can if it's too bad. very much alive. Yay! I'm glad. Better than not being alive, I guess. But, you know, vampires seem to have it pretty good. Just get in the bush, and then after this I'm thinking get the Nastreg yellow finally done. You know, that looks terrible there. There we go. Well, I'm no doctor, so I'm only assuming I'm alive. Well, I think it's a pretty good assumption to make. Look at this person. Oh, okay, that looks a lot nicer now. Definitely needs a wash or something of for me to do some darker parts to it, but it's fine. As I said, all we're trying to do is get the base colours done at the moment. Once the base colours is done, we can focus on making stuff just look better. I think of this top bit, it's going to be very muddy and murky and dark. How's the rust looking now that it's had time to properly dry fully? It's not looking too shabby actually, is it? Looking pretty rusty. Oh, we need to do this top part. Now we'll get the Nastreg yellow. I keep putting off doing the Nastreg. There's a lot of it to do. We got a member stream later today. We can't overrun too much. There we go. I'm hoping to get all of the base colours finished today. Tomorrow I want to work on my video, not this thing, so leave that. And then on Friday, we'll look at getting all of the metal done, I think. Like making it actually metallic. Where's the Nastreg yellow? That's not it. Is this it? Yes, it is. Nastreg yellow is a very interesting colour. What are we going to be doing in today's member stream? I forgot. Oh yeah, we're going to be, what's it called? We're going to be making dwarves. Dwarven Rangers. And when once that's finally finished, we can get on to painting the painting some models. Yeah, after I do this Nastreg yellow, I think I want to focus on getting this Storm Fiend looking nicer. So not truth and dare with shots. No. I don't drink. Alcohol is terrible. I don't do truth or dare either. 1, I don't tell the truth. 2, I don't do dares. Dare me to do something, I'm going to do the opposite. one truth. About shots of cola. I mean, I'm always doing shots of cola, so don't worry about it. But actually, I have an apple juice with me right now. I have an appy juice. Yeah. Can't drink too much apple juice because it's full of fructose. Full of fructose it is. Which is bad for me. There we go. How's that looking? Looking a little better. Right up to the edges. Yeah, where we're doing Nastrag yellow is it's eventually going to become bronze. Over probably on these areas, it's going to be gold instead. The process of painting bronze is very similar to a process of painting gold. In fact, gold just has one extra step. You got a
Right lads, I got second conundrum for years. Rank the gits of the galaxy by how much do orcs like crump in M.
So, at the top is other orcs. Orcs are like nothing better than to fight another orc. The second is the Imperium. Especially Space Marines, but they also love pumping Guardsmen. Because the Imperium and the Guardsmen, they're very orky. But they can get a bit boring from time to time. The Tau have some really good stuff to have. Oh, they love crumping for Photon. The Photon orc they find fun to crump, it looks like. And they've got loads of good tech to steal. Loads of really good Daka. So they love crumping the Photon. After them, you got that Eldar. But they like to stay far... Not Eldar, the Tau, but they like to stay far away, so it's not very fun. World Eaters are okay, I believe, but they're very boring. They're very boring. Compared to the Imperium that has... will bring various regiments that have a variety of tactics. Like, the orcs do like fighting artillery because it's all big and boomy and it's cool. They don't like being killed from far away without even seeing the enemy. But they don't mind so much because artillery is really nice and cool. World Eaters. I think Photon is definitely above most Chaos Forces. Because they don't like crumping demons. Demons can be okay and fun to crump to some extent, but the fact that they always disappear afterwards, whether you kill them or not, is always a bit of a sad thing. And they don't seem to be having very much fun. That's the thing, they see the Imperium and they think the Imperium's having a lot of fun. World Eaters are okay, but they get very, very boring very, very quickly since it's just a melee. And they also think they're kind of stupid because the orcs also love using artillery themselves, and artillery is very, very effective against World Eaters. They don't like chaos very much, focus. They think it feels very weird and very unarchy. But they think humans themselves are kind of very archy themselves. They're like mini arcs in a way. And when you actually do compare humans to orcs, like compare humans to Tau and then Tau the orcs to humans, and they both seem very similar. It's like the humans, they're very big, they're very brutal, they're very hard to put down, because that's the thing, and they live a very long time. Like your average human lives 2-3 times as long as a Tau, and that's before you get into mutations and body augmenting that humans do. And gene augmentating. In old lore, Tau did do some cool gene stuff, but in current lore, the Tau really struggle with a lot of the genetic stuff that the humans just do, like, really easily. That's like the one tech where they just recognize humans are just far beyond the Tau. And similarly, human medicine is absolutely insane. Like, I remember reading a book, actually it's a few books by different authors where, you know, one of the characters gets blown to pieces, an officer, and they're like missing multiple limbs, and the next day they come back in and they're just walking around like normal, and there's no even sign that they got blown to pieces, no scars, no robotic limbs, they're just back to normal. And it's like, what? Pretty sure I saw you die. It's like, nah, I got put back together again. And considering humans can do that, that's very similar to what the orcs do. The orc just had his head cut off, we'd just find him a new body and put that head on it. Yeah, they don't like the Eldar. Dark Eldar are the worst ones, I believe. They hate fighting for Dark Eldar, because the Dark Eldar are just not fun to fight. They appear from nowhere, they attack you, then they disappear. If you start winning, they disappear. If you're losing too hard, they disappear. And they don't make it fun. They're not rather got super killy tech. They destroy all of your cool things like your big Daka and your stompers and stuff. A lot of the orcs, it's like all they'll do is get really badly injured and be unable to fight anymore, and it's just not nice to do. But at least normal Eldar, they'll just kill you. They'll just blow your blooming head off. They enjoy clumping Necrons. I think it goes Craft World Eldar after Tau. Like, there's actually a book. I read about it. Or I say a book. It's in one of the codexes or rule books or something. Oh, maybe it was one of the Combat Patrol magazines. So it actually talks about... I've got a cola, by the way. It talks about how the orcs view every single race. And again, I'm trying to work from memory here, but Imperium is basically top. Well, orcs are top, then it's Imperium. With Beaky Marines generally being at the top, though some Beaky Marines are really unfun to fight, some are really fun to fight. I think they're like the Templars. Then you have they also like fighting for Admech, so they're probably after the Imperial Guardsmen, though. And who else is next? I imagine it's Photon. Photon weren't mentioned, but I think it's because they were just taking a piece of lore from before the Photon existed. But Photon is probably next, just from all the facts that we've seen. Like, everything I've read about the Photon keeps... Not everything, but a lot of the time it's just for fighting orcs. And orcs are attacking them, and I think that's probably like with the Dwarven rivalry in fantasy. So, yeah. And it makes sense. They're very similar to the Imperium in many ways, but they have even better tech and they're even more stubborn. So they're more likely. It's like, if you start winning in a fight against the Photon are just going to be fighting all the harder. Meanwhile, as stupid and stubborn as the Imperium often is seen, more often than not, if the Imperium recognises that they're fighting a losing fight and they don't think the world is worth it, they just won't fight you. They'll just go away. Photon aren't as much like that. They get a bit grudgy and a bit stubborn. What else do we have though? Then after them, it's probably for Tau, I imagine, or Chaos. Like, as I said, they don't like Chaos very much because of, you know, Chaos being Chaos. And a lot of Chaos forces fight in a very similar way to how the Dark Eldar fight. They'll appear, they'll attack you. If they start losing, they go away. Even if they're winning, they'll probably go away because they don't want to suffer too many casualties. They've just got a goal they want to achieve and then they'll disappear. And similarly, very few Chaos forces have a fixed location. But yeah, lots of chaosy stuff you can't loot very well because it's all corrupted and weird. And they don't like that. The Tau they like fighting because Tau tech's quite fun. The main thing they don't like about it is it lacks any kit. And the fact that, and on top of that, the Tau tech, as fun as it is to have, it isn't that high tech. Like, the Tau are still thousands of years behind every single other race in the setting, pretty much. The only thing is that they equip their troops better than most of them do. Especially the Imperium. Then I think it's Craft World Eldar and Exodite Eldar, because they have really good tech and it might be a bit dainty, but it hits super hard. And it's really nice to work with, and the mechs really love the tech. And it has a bit more of a kick than the Tau tech does with some of it, like especially Eldar missiles and stuff. So they don't mind it so much. And the Eldar can be pretty fun to fight. They like to get into a good scrap. And they can be quite stubborn when it comes fighting over webway portals and stuff like that. And certain worlds. But yeah, the aspect, they don't mind the Eldar so much because of the aspect warriors as well. And how they like to have a good melee, a good clump and scrap. But they don't like how the Eldar are very similar to the Tau, but even better than the Tau at mobility warfare. So if they want to kill you off from a long range, they're very good at doing that. And they're very good at just appearing, stabbing you, and then they'll get back on the vehicles and move away quickly. It's very hard to keep up with them. And the Orcs don't like that very much. Oh, actually, it might be the Necrons before the Eldar. Yeah, I forgot about that. They quite enjoy the Necrons. Although the Necrons are being robots, there's no squishy parts. And that's what they don't like. And they don't like how they keep disappearing, so it's really hard to loot them. Well, if you do beat the Necrons... What the thing that really puts the Necrons up, though, is that if you do beat the Necrons good enough, they stop disappearing, or you can find where they disappear to. And once you got from there, there's some good loot to have, and they're really fun to smash. But they do like it because there's like no end to them as well, and they've got good tech to loot, and they can eventually loot it. As long as they eventually win. They don't like how they get disintegrated though. And there's like some I think it's with modern orcs, with the entire idea of reincarnation being a big focus again. I think with modern orcs there's a fear that the the Necrons don't give you a chance to reincarnate. So that might code them back. But yeah. Then... But yeah, Tau and Eldar, both of them have the same issue of... They like to fight at range. And like to stay away from you. Especially for Tau. For Tau are easier to catch. And for a bit more dumb. For dancing and for the Harlequins though, I have no idea about. I don't think it mentioned for Harlequins. And I don't really know enough about for Harlequins. I imagine for Harlequins fight very similar to the Dark Eldar, so probably the least fun to fight. Okay, how is that looking at the moment? That's looking okay. Oh yeah, you got the Tyranids. I'm not sure how they feel about Tyranids. I know that a lot of orcs really enjoyed fighting the Tyranids in that one big battle, Octavius, or whatever it's called. I wonder how this would look. Just like going down the edges. Stinky Beakies. No idea about them all. It didn't go over every single faction. I think in general just their feelings on chaos is... It feels wrong. And they don't like them. They don't like being around them. Yeah, I think one of the things that gets Eldar fair points though is, but what's the thing where it's like how boring armies can be to fight? And for all of the problems that they have with Eldar, they're fun. They're not boring to fight. They don't just choose one way and stick with it. With the Imperium, sometimes you'll be fighting them and they'll just be like, okay, we're not going to do anything. We've got this one idea of how we want to fight, and that's it. We're just going to artillery you, and if that fails, we lose. And the orcs don't find that very fun. They want variety. I imagine Tyranids are fun to fight but lose points because of the inability to loot them. Or do you know, the difficulty in looting monsters? For beast snaggers love them, probably. Although it depends. I think old lore for Tyranids, yes. But now modern lore for Tyranids kind of suggests that once the hive mind goes away, they don't really survive very long. Like, it used to be they just go feral. And that in itself makes it more fun. That's some good eating for the squigs. Oh, that's another thing is it's not necessarily good eating for the squigs or for the orcs, because tyranids themselves are generally like quite toxic. It's one of the reasons like why fighting tyranids in a world is just never fun, because even if you can beat them quite easily and you stop them doing any terraforming, the thing is all of the dead tyranid bodies in itself will terraform your world, because it will just... they're filled with acids and poisons and stuff like that. It's just, there's no real... they're not very good to eat. You can make tyranid flesh edible. The Imperium knows this as much as anybody. But even for an orc, it's not tasty. It's poisonous, it's full of acid. I think there's maybe a few exceptions with some high fleets or species of tyranids. They're generally not going to be the ones you're fighting. Like, I can't remember which world it was, but I think it's in the Ultramar Sectum during the Tyrannic War, when Agri World was successfully defended, but the Agri World was effectively rendered useless for, you know, decades. It would take maybe hundreds of years to cleanse it from all the tyranid filth. Just because the ground was just so heavily acidified by the death tyranid bodies that it wasn't usable anymore. I know orcs have very good, you know, digestive systems and stuff, but I'm not sure even they can handle that much. It's mostly acidic blood in the tyranids. Poisons don't make much sense outside of Gorgon. Who's really eating the tyranid? I think it's a defense mechanism by the tyranids. When I say defense mechanism, it's an aggressive mechanism of when tyranids are attacking you, they're also trying to terraform the planet. So they want to make the... and they're also going to be sieging you in your cities and stuff. If they keep sending hordes to attack you and try and destroy you and to undermine you, and you can just like filter away all of the acidic blood and eat the tyranids, then that's going to be pretty bad news for them, because they're just feeding you at that point. So what they want to do is make sure that you can't eat them. That once your city is under siege, you will starve to death if they cannot beat your city. Or they cannot beat your fortress. So the entire thing is, they don't want you then eating the bodies of the tyranids. So make them poisonous. It's not that hard. Most tyranid... and you say it's not doesn't make sense outside of Gorgon, but the two tyranid fleets, and I don't think it was just Gorgon, there was at least another one who... when they fought the Death Guard, they primarily used poisons and diseases. It got some... that's just the thing. The other thing is they also don't want like the native life surviving on the tyranids. So they want like anywhere they are, they want all of the life to die off. They want the ground to become unusable for the plants. They want the wildlife to be unable to eat it. They want the defenders to be unable to eat them. It's just... I love that Gorgon wants out biological warfare for Death Guard. They're not the only ones who did that. I know Gargan is like the poisony one or whatever, but I think it's good to remember that all nids love their poisons. I always have to remember that, like, in the early days of, like, Behemoth and stuff, Behemoth itself was highly poisonous. I mean, I might got my lore wrong, because the lore I'm quoting about Tyranids being, like, the bodies destroying the ground is from, I think, the old Tyrannic War stuff, like Battle of Macragge era. Before even the Leviathan was, you know, the super major threat it was now. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, I found the Battle of Macragge box sets on eBay because I was feeling nostalgic for a really decent price. And it was sealed and everything. So I got it. I'm probably going to paint the Space Marines from it in actual ultramarine colours, just because. It was like I have to. Oh, this actually has the greeny baubles on them, I didn't realise. I'll paint them green afterwards. But yeah, I do think and I was reading a while ago about the Tyranids versus the Orcs and how the Orcs nearly completely beat the Tyranids. Well, do you know that one high fleet that went after the Orcs or was pushed towards the Orcs?
Financial control. What is that? Never heard of it. Now, gimme my fix of plastic crack.
Yeek! It wasn't super expensive or anything. It was like, oh my goodness. I think it was like 40 quid when it officially released, originally. And it makes sense because, oh my goodness, it was a starter set and all it had in was one squad of tactical marines with no options. 6, I think, Gene Stealers. 12 Hormagaunts, 6 Spore Mines, but it did have something cool that a lot of starter sets haven't had in them. And that was... it had cool terrain and a moving objective marker in the fact of a person holding Gene Seed. Hello, Quadro, how you doing? Okay, what's our next thing that we wanted to do? Oh yeah, I wanted to do this in Mechanicus. But yeah, it had, what else does it have in it? I'm sorry. I've forgotten. Eldar? No, Eldar. Well, yeah, it had these like 6 different like Tyranid spawning locations. Just give me a moment to hear something outside. Nope, just a neighbour, not my delivery. I'm getting emails. Nope. Yeah. Oh, it had a crashed Aquila lander. Oh god. was a very brief period of time where I was a good painter. Although I think I'm a better painter now than I was for most of my time when I was like really into Warhammer. Which, to be fair, for a long time I was just a little kid. But then I just really struggled having the patience to, you know, paint and stuff. I still struggle with that. But I have learned to have a bit more patience. Oh, I just realised something that we need to do. And by we, I mean I. The candles. I've not done the candles. I also want to do these little power things in here. I'm thinking about just getting some Corvex white on them. Just like a quick brush over. And then putting some glacier blue on them, because I don't know what the glacier blue is like. Like if I just put it on by itself. I'm thinking. The candles are kind of looking candleish, but we'll get some. Is this pallid rich flesh? That's Wraithbone. Pallid rich flesh is, that's Administratum grey, which is a pretty nice grey to be honest. But do I have pallid rich flesh out? No, Lysander yellow, I think that is. Is it Lysander? No, Dawn yellow. Why does it say Lysander? Ornament. Wraithbone. Sharp T-bone. Caligar blue. Okay, it might not be out. Oh, it might be this one. No, that's Apothecary white. Because I want to go for like a mildly yellow colour. Pallid rich flesh is one of my favourite paints to use. Like, it's just such a nice, you know, off-white colour. But it's a bit like Catachan flesh, in which I think they're really, really good colours, but I never use them for actually what they're meant to be for. And when I do, I'm just like disappointed by the effect, which is skin tones. I think in both cases, they generally do a lot better. Actually, I think they really make good corpsey coloured skin tones. It's just got, they lack that any sort of warmth in them. They do have a bit of warmth. They lack enough warmth. Where I don't mind them. I mean, pallid rich flesh, it is meant to be for dark elves and stuff. But I generally think they're better with other flesh tones, because there's plenty of. Like a bit of Wraithbone over. A darker flesh tone is generally going to look a lot nicer than using pallid rich flesh, I feel like. A dark Eldar flesh. With a dark elf. And then put a very watered down flesh tone on them for the wash. Astaris Knights has to be my favourite flesh tone for doing flesh when it comes to non-contrast paints. This is just a very versatile colour. You put Astaris Knight flesh on and then use a lighter tone dry-brushed over it. It gives you a relatively nice palish skin tone. put a bunch of goblin flesh on it, it gives you a much darker skin tone. Water down for goblin flesh, it gives you more tanned skin tone. Oh. Very nice one to work with. But yeah, pallid witch flesh is really good for doing what we're doing now, like candles, highlights on beige armor colours. Works very well with the shabby bone. There we go. I think the reason I like it is because it's generally, it's a very nice free-flowing paint compared to a lot of the other paints. Like compare it to Wraithbone, which always ends up congealing a little bit. And despite that though, unlike a lot of the other more free-flowing whiter tones, it does a relatively okay job at covering up stuff below it. Because that's one of the difficulties with white, is you paint it over a colour, like you made a mistake or whatever, and you can still see that underneath it. Okay, so with these types of things, candles and flames, the warmest parts is where it's going to be lightest, and that's going to be at the bottom. So you want the bottom to be white, like the centre there, then go yellow out from there, then go orange out from there, into red at the top, and then at the very top edges you go into black or dark brown. I think we'll start with yellow. If I was doing digital painting, I like to usually start with black and then work my way down, creating a gradient all the way down to white. Well, usually a gradient all the way down to yellow and then a highlight with white. But with these paints, yellow is going to be the worst one for in terms of trying to paint over the other paint, so it's best to start with that one and then work orange over it, then red over that. Yeah. Might have to go to a different brush. Let's get some work on this wig done. Hi Scorpio, do I sound kind of sick? I am kind of sick. I've still got this sore throat. I've had it for ages. Not been able to get rid of it. But I'm also just very focused, so that might be why I sound a bit sick. There we go. Yay! Actually, I can just change the way I speak. Give me a moment. How are you doing? I'm not a cat! There we go. Hello. Hello, how am I doing? I am doing relatively well. Still getting a bit over my tummy pains and issues. When I say getting over them. No, don't turn me into a cat. That is so mean. I'm not a cat. I just look suspicious. I'm a cupcake that's suspiciously shaped like a cat. Because of you guys misusing your magic. But yeah. Yeah, I'm still getting over my... Well, I say getting over. I'm not really... it's an ongoing condition. It's a chronic illness. But my tummy's still quite bad. I'm in a lot of pain. Might have to rush off to go to the bathroom, but hopefully not. To the little cupcake room. Okay, that seems good. I'll just let that dry a little bit. I need to get my Cupcakes right out. Oof, gosh, my backy backs. Having to lean over a model is not fun. I do not have enough back muscles. Don't forget to like the stream if you've not liked it already. Unfortunate, there's nothing. Ooh, wait, this is new. Celebrate Talisman Day with birthday news and reveals. Talisman? What's talisman? All of a hunt. What? That's cool. But I need to get some Cupcakes white out. Cupcakes white. That's more pallid witch flesh. That's Cupcakes white. Because this is like the best white that Games Workshop makes. Look at that mess, though. Congeals itself up. You have to just give it a good old shake. Hi, Douglas. How you doing? Good morning. Big hugs to you, too. My glove's coming off. That's how hard I'm shaking. But how's this looking? It's still a bit of a mess. There we go. That looks a bit nice. It's still a congealed mess. Yeah, this is the issue with a lot of the whites we make. It becomes congealed. But I want to just stay open. Take this. Go bam 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 bam. And then go doo doo. Oh god, that wasn't enough paint taken off the brush then. I got spat on this one. So yeah, I'm just trying to paint like a bit of glow into the coils here. I don't know if we'll be getting the... Oh, just give me a moment. I just need to check if I'm getting delivery. Nope, there's just some really noisy vehicles outside. There we go. What I'm thinking is about going with is there's a glacier colour. I've never really used it very well. Don't know how you're meant to use it. Other than to create ice effects, I guess. But yeah, contrast Pylar glacier. This one looks like a very nice bright blue. But I've never been able to figure out how it's meant to be good. Like, it does create some nice icy effects on stuff. But like, as a colour, it barely sticks or adds any real colour to what it goes on. Always just feels really weird to use. Yeah, that doesn't seem to add very much to it. We'll just leave it for a moment. If it doesn't look good, I'll just turn it into a orange. Like this guy's power there, similar to that. Or I'll try to do it better since I'm not trying to work under the model and around the base. Okay, that candle's already looking kind of candly. I can barely tell the difference between the orange and the red there. Then we just add a little bit of black to it and then a little bit of white. And then maybe add the watered down yellow around it. To give it a more of a glow effect. But that should be done after the other colours have been done. Like the metals and stuff. Yeah, that blue barely does anything, does it? Oh yeah, that's what I need to do. I forgot. I wanted to do big old blobs of blue here. On these arms because they're not coloured in at all. But I just realised there's a little spots of mist from earlier. On this little oil squig and grot. It's meant to be black. And then I'll have to do a bit where it's meant to be blue. Yep, that's the pipe. Oh gosh, is this difficult? But we're getting there bit by bit. Okay, how did I want to do this again? I'm thinking blue underneath here. Like there, all the way up to here, that big old square. Then this bit can be blue, this bit can be blue, here, here, blue, blue. And maybe even blue here. And here. And that's going to be all iron colour. Morning, TA. How you doing? Okay, I want to open it without breaking it. There we go. Sorry. Boat just died there. Yeah, look, let's look how blue looks over grey. Oh, it looks fine. Love Talisaur blue, really nice paint to work with. There we go. Yeah, Battle of McCrag. Battle of McCrag is just so nostalgic for me, though. Like, I know it's not even worth very much in terms of like what you get in it. I'll just show an image of it. Actually, it's on the website. You know, I'm going to show you. I'm not procrastinating. I'm not avoiding painting. Definitely not. So I'm just getting like notifications here. Ooh, wait, more Warhammer Plus stuff. Oh, but yeah, if I go up here and go Battle of McCrag. No, there was a different one. We just go down, except here we go. Return of Battle of McCrag. Here we go. Yeah, this is what you get in it. It's absolutely insane. Like, this was meant to be a starter set. You get these cool little things which like spawn in, which are nice. You get 16 Steelers, 3, 6, 9, 10 Termagants, sorry. 6 Spore Mines, a squad of Marines, and this little dude here. And then you've got 1, 2, a nice bit of scattered terrain, to be honest. It looks really cool. That's like the big reason to get this box set. Then you've got these cool little shield generator things. This guy here, he's not like a character. He is more of a walking objective. The Tyrannid job is to kill this guy and then like destroy the gene seed that he's carrying, because he's like the pilot of this crashed thing and he was trying to get gene seed off the planet. The space means they'll have to reach him and then like move him off the edge of the battlefield. I think if he dies, you can still carry him off the battlefield. But I think if he's dead or something, you have like half movement range. It becomes even slower. But yeah, it was like, just compare that though to the modern starter sets. Takes forever to load. Compare this to Warhammer 40k, start here, starter sets. So this is the like basic starter set, which is roughly £30, £29.50 more expensive than the Battle of Macragge when it came out. You get a mat, you get some rulers. Okay, in this one, you used to get the rule book as well as some measuring sticks that were really good at taking people's eyes out. Some blast templates and stuff like that. This one has, and you got some dice. You got, once again, you got your dice. You got your measuring sticks, like this time for proper rulers, and they're clear. So I think they're nicer, they're less likely to take someone's eye out, but also less likely to bend out of shape. You get a mat, you get your handbook, you get some rules for your dudes. And for Space Marines, instead of just having 10 normal tactical Marines, you got a captain. You got these things, a captain, 5 Terminators, 5 Infernus Marines. So you get not only more guys, but the really better guys. And then you have the Tyrannid side. Yeah, you get a lot more Termagants in here. You get 20 Termagants. You get some Ripper bases. You get some of these cool dudes. You get a big old monster. You got this thing. It's a lot better than this starter set. You don't get as much terrain in it though. As in you get no terrain in this one. You get instead... The battle mats aren't terrible, to be honest. When you do, you get more than 6 dice. Yeah, I'd say the modern starter sets are better, and once you take into account inflation and the tax increases and plastics and stuff, it's not bad. Pretty decent. And then if you want to get for £40 starter set, so this is £2 more, £2.50 more expensive than buying this starter set, like when this came out years and years ago. And you get 5 Infernus Marines, 10 of these things, some Ripper Swarms, some Clippers, some rulers, some dice, a starter brush, a bunch of paint, and you get your handbooks and another battle mat. And this one is over 3 times the price of what Battle of Macragge was. And you get all of the same dudes that were in this thing. But on top of that, you get these 5 Biophors. Well, let's look at them. You get this dude for the Space Marines. And for the Tyrannid, you also get these 5, they're not Biophors, what are they called? Barbagants. And you also get this cool terrain set, which is really nice. I like that terrain set. And you also get a core rulebook. That's like, you know, the bigger, thicker core rulebook, which is nice. But yeah, I think in general, the starter sets have gotten a lot better since back then, but this is what I started with. And that the Aquila Lander is still a really cool set, to be honest, this Shattered Lander. Oh, amazing. Okay, let's go back to it. Sorry, I had to do the distraction. I didn't get distracted, you got distracted. The Aquila lander is... I kind of want to get an Aquila lander. Actually, I'm not even sure if that's an Aquila lander in the model. In the terrain thing. Oh, Beth one's having a good day, by the way. They're my throat. Oh no, I'm turning into an old woman. Help me. Help me. Finally getting the big old arms painted. This is a part where you guys say turning into. What do you mean turning into? You are an old woman. I've always been able to do an evil witch laugh. Because I've always had a kind of croaky throat. A croaky voice I've always had. I can make my voice go smoother sometimes, but even then it often will croak. Oh wait, I've got a delivery coming in. I'll be. Oh. There you go, come on, Mike. Oh my gosh, I got deliveries! I got deliveries! Deliveroo! Deliver who? Oh gosh, give me a moment. Okay, I think these are like some bits I bought from eBay because I realised I didn't have enough graphics parts. Oh my gosh, how is this meant to work? Oh yeah, I bought a bunch of these Templar crosses. And here's some graphics shoulder pads. How many? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah! And then I also bought a bunch of these Templar things that go on the front of vehicles. Like that. Because they're really cheap. I say they're really cheap, but it was cheaper to get loads of them than it was to have to buy like 10 thingy upgrades. Okay. Upgrades through boxes. We got the combat patrols. Four of them. Okay, so Combat Patrol 55 here. Oh gosh, this is a bit different. Is it? Give me a moment. Yeah, it is different. Oh no, here we go. 55 and 56 is here. And they have the other biker dudes in them. Oh, look at that. Is that like a Mechanicum person? Ooh. Then we've got 57 and 58 that include the Siphonian Berserkers. Ooh. And look, it's a Berserker. That's the rest of the Siphonian Berserkers. And look at that cool art in the background. Oh, wait a minute. Where's Anthony when you need him? Look, it's a little photon ship that looks like. And I think this is like a really big photon ship or like space station or something. Looks like it might be. I don't know what it is. But then next time we get Combat Patrol, we're going to have a Boomdacker Snaswagon and look like a cool guy there. And then 5 Half Guard. Oh. So excited. Aren't you excited, everybody? Of a Combat Patrol madness. I was hoping for like the premium kit. But whatever. Because the premium kit has killer cans in them. And I think Thunderkin. Let's open this up and get back to painting. Just got to move these bits to one side. If you can't tell, I'm super excited. When will we look at that Combat Patrol though properly? Maybe this weekend, maybe on Sunday. We'll read the magazine then, and then play with the models next week. And that will be like the end of the Photon Army. Oh no, we're coming to the end of it. And we got the Gene Stealer coats and stuff after that. Actually, I don't know what's next after the Photon. Because we still got the Gene Stealer coats and the World Eaters to get, as well as the Guardsmen. There's still a few factions. The Guardsman Combat Patrol, I'm going to turn some of it at least into the Planetary Defense Force that this Chimera colour is based on. Which honestly at the moment I'm very happy with this colour scheme. Looks very metallic, doesn't it? And this goes on. What is everyone's favourite 40k faction? I struggle to decide personally. Photon are really cool. So what Eldar and Tau and Orc and Tyranids. I'm like a kid in a sweet shop. Templar are definitely up there for me, but I wouldn't say they're my favourite faction. I used to be able to say unequivocally Dark Eldar, but now I'm not so much. I feel like some factions I would like more if it wasn't soured so much by the community itself. I suppose like Necrons and the Imperium, or at least the Blood Ravens, Dawn of War was one of the first RTS games you ever played. Ooh. Yeah, I guess that could very much colour your opinions and factions. That's not very neatly done, but it doesn't have to be. It looks good enough. I like Harlequins. Harlequins are cool. I really liked the idea of Harlequins. The only issue of Harlequins is painting, for my goodness. They've got their hellish colour schemes. Orcs also have an issue of how difficult it is to paint them. Especially if you don't like just painting. Like, if lots of things have different panels and you don't like the idea of them all being the exact same colour, orcs are not going to be fun to paint. Because there's just so much going on with them, it's crazy. Oh, we didn't put Nastrag yellow there. Ugh. Yeah, I just got him. I had to keep like looking at this guy to be like, okay, this is how my model's going to look in the end, in terms of colour scheme. We got to trust the process and that the process works. Oof. It's very. Whenever you guys have that same issue I do, that whenever you've got a big project, like a painting project, just painting it is tiring and takes it out of you, even when you've not gone that far through. Because it's just like the idea of having to paint so much is what's really tiring, rather than the actual painting itself. So that's where I am at with this thing sometimes. Just like, oh my gosh, it's daunting. One of the reasons I don't like painting vehicles in general. Well, one of the issues with painting this one is just... there's just so much going on in different colour schemes. You're not just working with one colour. Or just a couple of colours. Which adds a lot of time. It's like the more details, the more things have, obviously, the longer it takes. Kind of regret putting the goblins on it, to be honest, or I knew I would. Because it's just, they take so much extra effort to get the paint on them. Because they're tiny and they've got lots of details. Thank you for all of that. Yeah, but Harlequins, I think, with all their weird, I say weird, with all their checker pattern and stuff, I just couldn't handle it. Oh, a lot of orcs have checker pattern in official art, but, you know, I don't care. I don't really like checker patterns that much. Especially just plain white ones. Well, that's kind of where the Harlequins look a bit more interesting and dynamic with their patterns. Where it's very colourful checker patterns rather than just all one boring colour. I say one boring colour, two boring colours. Oh my gosh, some of my chats are super delayed. And the chat that's over there, it only just showed your bombardment appearing. Yeah, when I'm painting, I have like multiple chats up so I can look at it from different angles. Like if I'm like this, I can see chat over here. And if I'm looking somewhere like this, I can see chat instead over there. And I've got a chat there, and then a chat down here on my phone, but my phone just keeps breaking chat. YouTube updates are very weird. The two main chats I was looking at, though, seem to be keeping up quite well. I do find they're a few seconds behind. Not all the time, but sometimes a few seconds behind the chat that appears on screen. Which makes absolutely no sense because of how it's set up, but somehow they end up just being behind. I don't understand the tech behind it. Not always, sometimes the one on screen is a bit shorter, but I found recently it's some reason quicker. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, then just the last bit of Nastrag yellow. Oh gosh, this does not want to close. And that should be all of the base colours done. Unless it's Snazzy orcs, they wouldn't care if they have checkered patterns or not. Yeah. A lot of orcs do though, even like the goths who are said to like snazziness the least. Like they think being all snazzy is bad. That's why they go for black and white, because it shows the odd. But they're probably the ones that use a checker pattern for most. I think ultimately it's just to break up the models. Like if they're just plain black and white, you don't really get much broken up. In terms of when you're looking at the model, it's just like what? On top of this, I don't think they like the idea of like giving them these plates of armor are white, these plates of armor are black. It doesn't feel very orky doing that. So instead they paint like the entire model black with highlights and then add the checkers in. Or maybe not then add the checkers in, but the idea is everything's painted black and they add white checker pattern on top from an artistic point of view. That just means that the orcs, even the goths, like to be snazzy sometimes. Either that or the mechs and stuff that they hire to make all their stuff are like, well, this is boring, it's all black. I'm just going to add a little bit of snazziness to it, because they did say they just want it black and white. Okay, but, ooh, this is something I wanted to do. I wanted to get that green done. We'll go over moot green. At least that's how I kind of imagine why the goths aren't as snazzy as you might think. Okay, no, this brush is not really up to doing what I want it to do. Not very well anyway. Let's get a different brush out. Same size, but it's just got a better tip to it. There you go, nice and green. And yeah. We're very close to finished, and by finished I mean getting the base block colours done. Oh, block colours. It's always the most time consuming process of painting any models for me. I know some people do it really quickly, but I just can't. Those little baubles also wanting to be green. Oh, so I'm not even got it on screen there. So my camera's in a different place than usual, so it's higher, so it has more of a modeling frame. I'm just not used to using that angle. gosh, my hands don't want to stay still. Yeah. You know what? I like the idea of it for smaller ones or just like bolts or whatever on it. They do look like it. Doesn't matter if I go beyond the lines too much, it'll just be a bit of a green glow. Okay, then where's the correct? No, we'll go over it with this yellow. Yeah, there we go. That's a nice little glowy effect to it. Go a bit around the edges with the yellow as well. So the entire thing looks like it's glowing. Yeah. Although actually that's not that important because I need to paint it a bronzy colour first before we add the glow in. Because that's what this is going to be, it's going to be bronze. But there is something of some importance to have to do first though. Before we move forward too hard. And that's these glowy bits. I want to paint them yellow and then orange. The yellow wants to be on the higher parts, but it's going to be easy to do yellow and then go into orange. And then red. Okay, maybe a little bit less on the brush. And highlight with white again. This white goes onto yellow pretty easily. Yeah, that looks nicer. That's fine. Maybe I should have watered it down a little bit, but it's fine. We'll water down for orange. Yeah, that's fine. We can do better detailing and stuff afterwards and just correcting of issues. Like where there's blue where we don't really want blue to be. There we go, nice yellow. I think actually going for a kind of orangey, glow to the weaponry instead of a blue or green gives it this sense of orcish brutality to it. Compared to other colours, we have to wait for it to dry. Yeah, how is it looking now though? Okay, now pretty much all the block colours are done. Oh my gosh, it looks horrific, but maybe in a good way. Yeah, it's pretty much what we're going to be going for the rest of the model, like these bits. Rusted. I think the different chimeras will be different levels of rusted. I think this one, because it's upside down, will actually have it so it looks like it rusted that direction. Upwards. Ah, perfect. Green schemes to give my god excellent target practice. What do you mean? This is clearly guardsman stuff. What do you mean green skins? Look, see, this is clearly a guardsman chimera, and another guardsman chimera, and another guardsman chimera, and an imperial knight, and other parts of imperial knights. And some ultramarine impulsor parts. You know, it's very, see, it should must mean it's definitely imperial if it's got that many imperial parts on it. But hello, Vibo Senpai, how you doing? Oh gosh. Yeah, we just got the block colours done. We've got to do all the actual painting now. We got the undercoats done. I mean, now we got the undercoats done. You think that it's like, oh gosh, there's still so much to paint. And there is, but a lot of the time-consuming work now will just be fixing issues and errors rather than going beyond the lines and stuff. Most of the work now should be relatively quick. Like, this stuff, this grey stuff, should not be difficult to make look metallic. Hi Zosimus, how you doing? Have you heard of the old 40k Shark fanfiction called Looted Emperor, where the boys stop on Terra and pick up a souvenir? Nope. Sounds kind of funny though. I'm doing well, just waiting for a typical Scottish rain to naff off so I can spray Angron for my World Eaters army. Ooh, that sounds fun. The only World Eaters I have right now are, do you know those, what was the new kill team called? The Gar something or other. I really like them. I really wish they weren't just World Eaters, because I kind of want them in my Night Lord army. Although I do think their stats in 40k are kind of sucky. I'm not sure what the actual role is in if you play World Eaters in 40k. Because they aren't as tough or as hard hitting as Jackals are. They are faster than Jackals, but they don't have the ability to make sticky objectives. And while they are faster than Jackals, they're not that much faster, and they're not as fast as a lot of the other World Eater units. It kind of just makes me wonder what they're even meant to do in the game. Yeah, Gormungus, kill team. Yeah, they're cultists, and apparently, I think it's cultists that have seen bloodletters before, and then they try, like, mimicking bloodletters if they want to become bloodletters. And apparently, some of them might even succeed at becoming bloodletters, or do you know, demons. They'll ascend to demonhood without becoming a prince. If I remember reading the book correctly. I think they're a really cool looking unit, just I don't know what the place is on the battlefield. Because they're also a bit expensive at like 85 points per unit. For 8 wounds. Like most other kill teams, you can at least try figuring out what's the point of a myth. Yeah, I got for kill team, they came in with Sanctifiers because I wanted the angel statue and I wanted the Sanctifiers for my Templar serfs. Because they just really look like they'd be good for kit bashing. Although I've actually used a bunch of the Sanctifier models for Slaanesh cultists. Do you know for I forget what the cultist command squad is called. Dark something, dark acolytes, dark commune. Hi Longstocks, how you doing? Somebody said Slaanesh. Yeah, I've got a Night Lord army and some of the, what's it called? Because I get for Combat Patrol magazine. I wanted a Night Lord on, but I also wanted to do like each of the Chaos faction armies, especially Slaanesh, Nurgle, Tzeentch. I couldn't decide what to do, and at the end I decided to go for Night Lord Cultist, Fanatic Cultist or whatever they're called. Detachment, where everyone has marks of the different Chaos Gods. Oh, my mate Terry will have lots to talk to you about. He's got like 6,000 points of Night Lords alone. My Night Lord army is only small. It's going to be around... It was going to be around 3,000 points. But I really, really like the new Battle Force that is coming out, so I'm thinking of getting it. So now I'm going to have around 4,000 points of Night Lords. 1,000 points of Nurgle cultists, 1,000 points of Tzeentch, 1,000 points of Slaanesh, and then 1,000 points of Undivided. The story is that it was just a normal Night Lord warband for a while, and then one of them, the like sorcerer of a Night Lord army, was starting like speaking to Tzeentchian demons, and he was starting to gain more and more power amongst the warband, with like more people following him and learning sorcery from him, and he was like basically making this mini Tzeentch cult. But the warband wasn't so strong where they could just afford the war boss, the Chaos Lord, Terminator Lord, couldn't just get rid of this important sorcerer. So, and he was getting old, like he was from the Horus Heresy. So he was like old and broken and even aging for Space Marines. In the end, he communed with a Nurgle, a Herald of Nurgle. Very cool model, by the way. Thank you. Your VTuber model, I meant. Thank you. Also, what do you think of this model? I made it myself. It's got a lot of work still to do on it. Oh, what is it? Oh yeah, so he communed with a Herald of Nurgle. Let me get my lord. There we go. There we go. There we go. So this guy was gaining a whole load of power, this Tzeentchian sorcerer. Needs more paint. He does need a lot more paint. We've only done for base colours at the moment. And yeah, like most of our models, they're not painted fully yet. specify fully. Not at all. But yeah. So this guy, my Chaos Lord, he was like, you know what? Communing with a Herald of Nurgle. And the Herald of Nurgle was like, yeah, sure, I'll make you all magical. I'll open your mind for warp. And then I'll possess you. I'll possess you. So it did open the Chaos Lord's mind for warp, and the Herald tried possessing him. But his mind was too strong, and he basically consumed the Herald of Nurgle instead. And ended up becoming kind of a devout follower of Nurgle. Yeah. And then he went to his most trusted warriors and chosen and stuff and was like, hey, he is a Nurgling, eat it. If you survive, you've got the blessing of Nurgle and you'll be even stronger. So basically, as that was going on though, he didn't realise, like, these two were basically in a war of power between one another, trying to consolidate their own powers. Like an unspoken war. They didn't realise that amongst their, you know, followers, their serfs effectively, their interns, a chaos cult of Slaanesh was already forming with this woman at its core. She looks a bit weird with that head on that body, but I don't mind. I was like, oh, yee. And then already some of their Marines, like that they were turning some of their interns into Space Marines, were still devout to the cult. So a Slaaneshi cult formed. Yeah, it's a lot for my models that I'm making. Looks dope. Maybe a proxy gun wagon for orcs. It was meant to be a battle wagon for my orcs, this thing, and I've never had a battle wagon before, and I thought they were, you know, very big. And as a result, this thing ended up being bigger. So I'm thinking maybe it's a battle fortress. With these things as sap cannons on the side. But yeah, and then we've also got this dude. He's like the Lord of the Undivided. He uses Harkon stats. Because we just got Harkon in Combat Patrol. So I'm like, okay, let's convert the Harkon model. And like Harkon, where he got given a spear by Abaddon, this dude got given a scythe by the Chaos Lord. That's the Lorvant. Oh, but yeah, I've really had a lot of fun just making up lore for the Chaos dudes I've got. And then, because I've got the Combat Patrol magazine, we're eventually going to get World Eaters. And the idea is, while this was going on and everyone was starting to like fall to sorcery and stuff, a bunch of the Night Lords were like, oh my gosh, we're falling to chaos and demons are weaklings. They're going to sorcery and stuff like that. And in the end, they like turned traitor on the other Night Lords and tried to defeat them. Failed. And they basically fell in with a World Eater warband instead. And now the worshippers of Khorne. And I just like the irony. Exquisite claws. Yeah, they're from the Raptors set. Actually, reminds me strongly of that big truck looking thing from the Goth Vodka video. Oh yeah! I've not seen that, but I've seen the Blood and Shooters where they have the Goth Vodkas in it. The spear was given to him by Abaddon. Very interesting lore. No, this guy wasn't. Harkon World Claimer, his spear, like the official model, his lore in the stuff was that his spear was from Abaddon. My guy, who uses the same stats, so basically it's just a proxy for Harkon World Claimer and uses the same model base. But this dude who's in my warband, instead he was given a scythe by this dude. Like a demon weapon scythe. I want to get some of that really thin metal wire that you can make lightning effects with. I want to get some of that to make this look a bit more demon weapony. Yeah, so his scythe wasn't given to him by a bad, it was given to him by this dude. Like, Yeet. Yeah, but so my Night Lord my Night Lord army, they ended up becoming Pact Bound Zealots. That's the detachment. They became Pact Bound Zealots because of their own striving for power, wanting to use demons, but ultimately ended up kind of just becoming bound to the Chaos Gods. So yeah, but they it's fun. I'm confused now. I forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah, but how is this looking at the moment? It's looking okay-ish. The orange was a bit too heavy on those coils. We'll go with some yellow. The only thing with this, it doesn't come off easily. Well, yeah, we'll go with this colour yellow. So power hungry dudes and power armor. Yeah, pretty much. The thing I love the most about, you know, Warhammer and stuff is just all the tragic irony of stuff that keeps happening all the time. That's kind of what I'm trying to go for with like the lore of my different models. There we go. Night Lords in general, though, they try to avoid chaos, but there's plenty of I say try to avoid chaos. They try to avoid like working with demons and stuff like that. They don't like the idea of it. That's not to say that they don't. There's plenty of them that have fallen fully to chaos. There's also Night Lord Demon Princess. That's also why, like, some of the Night Lords ended up turning trait to one another in this warband. Okay, that's looking a bit more gloomy. Won't do the glow yet, we'll do the glow last. Well, this rain doesn't look like it's letting up anytime soon, so I guess I could work on the Calm Berserkers. Oh. Yeah, work on your Terminators. For one thing I am dreading about painting my Chaos models is the amount of trim on them. Oh my goodness. It just sounds absolutely unfun to paint. I say unfun to paint, it's just too much. It's too much trim. Hello, name I can't read or pronounce. Yes, I am British. Super duper the most British VTuber. Actually, no, that's not true at all. Okay, this white is going a bit too strong. I want to effectively just dry brush it on. There we go, that's looking a bit nicer. How's the censorship going there? Not fun. Made it more unsafe, I feel like. Like, I don't want to go and give all my information and details to companies that constantly have data breaches. It means like on Reddit, when you want to go and like see someone's profile, like see what kind of person they are, or more accurately to see like, is this person just a troll? Or whatever. You can't, because it now requires age verification. And it's like, no. No. It's just... It's not fun. That's the War for Arthur miniature. Thank you. I'll show it properly after. This is done. There we go. Yeah, I don't really trust it. I mean, with YouTube and stuff, it's not the worst one because it's like, I'm a YouTuber. But they need all this information from me anyway to pay me. But it's just like, yep. And then you just have so many sites like Imager where it goes, okay, we can't be bothered doing this, so now we just won't work for you. And as a result, sometimes you go and it's like, okay, you know what? All these images you want to show me, I can't see them. Well, there's plenty of sites that are completely ignoring it and are increasing in popularity, and there's like no way the government can even stop it effectively. So, but here we go. This is the mod. This is like where I've tested trying to make it look all rusted on one side. And that's probably, I'm gonna probably do something like this, but maybe not to a heavy extent on the rest of the Chimera parts. But yeah, I think this is pretty much all the base colours done now. Oh, big old chainsaws. So now we can get on to making the metals look like metals, like getting washes and stuff, doing detailing. But that should actually be a relatively quick process compared to... Oh wait, we've still got to do that bit there. And there's another part I just realised as well. Actually, a few parts. My ideologies of fellow people, Northern Ireland, the stuff your Prime Minister puts this. Yeah, it is. It's been a really difficult year for me, unfortunately. A holy noon oil. Yuck. I might not use... I think Agrex Earthshade is probably going to be better on this model. Like, this thing was washed with Agrex Earthshade, which makes it look a lot nicer. Very watered down. Colac Green or whatever it's called with these dudes, and then I'm going to have to highlight them. The grots are probably going to be the most annoying part because they're very detailed models, but very small. And because they're glued on, it's very hard to reach them. Like there's parts on this where I'm just like having to brush them, like this dude from all the way down here. And it's like, yeah, it's not fun. Yeah, and once the entire model's painted, because we're doing death skulls, if you can't tell, they're the blue ones. I'm probably going to add blue paint to the sides of the model and stuff, but like as if the arcs have tried painting it, I've then given up halfway through. Because that just feels like what arcs would do to me. In my opinion. No, I need a different brush. I want one that's going to be better for detailing. Yeah, doing the details in this model, it's going to be, wherever it's, you know, this sort of yellow, it's going to be bronze or gold coloured. Wherever it's grey, it's most likely, with a few exceptions such as this door, it's going to become metallic coloured. And then I might paint them blue on top of that, because I just sometimes like the look of Palisar blue over metal, like there. Thoughts on Gork and Mark. Gork and Mark? Do you mean for Mark Canicum? For Mark, our guys worship for Mark Canicum and for Gork Nom Nom Nisaya. I'm joking, they do. Our Rimworld grots do. These guys don't. You even a Gork or Marker? What's this about Gork and Marker? Deaf schools know how to put Umi stuff to good use. They know how... Deaf schools are infamous because they actually have loot mostly from the arts. They loot from everybody, but they also loot a lot from other arts. And that's why they're infamous for looting. I find that hilarious. Why is this not going on there? Okay, that should work now, right? Yeah. That's looking okay. Let's put this here. Some no-no, that should look better. Yeah, I'll try doing a glow effect on these things after everything is painted and highlighted and stuff. Oh gosh. Oh yeah, these things are probably going to be bronzy coloured as well. I'm just going to compare two different ways of doing bronze. What do I want to do? Oh yeah, I wanted to do a bit of black because the back of this battery. Mech boys have an odd charm to them. I'm not big on arcs, lol. I do like mech boys. In fact, we don't have a proper war boss for my army. Instead, we have a mech boss or mech in mega armor. This is a mech boy. He's my mech boy. Yeah. By the way, what is your opinion on the Badab War? Which one's the Badab War again? I am not good with names. I forget which one's a which. As well as the Tortuga Bay miniatures. I don't know about the Tortuga Bay miniatures. It's a rebellion within the Imperium. Oh! If you mean the one where it's like part of a Fantasy Flight miniature, not... Is it miniatures? The Fantasy Flight games thing. Yeah, the Badab was pretty cool in that. I like me some Badab War. We need more of just Imperial forces that turn traitor without falling to chaos. Or Tau, you know, Xenos and stuff. Just typical general political discourse. I think that would be really cool to see in Warhammer more often. Bad of War was when Loyal Herven turned traitor. Oh, so I'm thinking of the wrong one. So that's when Herven Blackheart turned. Yeah, that one, it's okay. It's just another random war. Not a big fan of Herven Blackheart, to be honest. Something's wrong. Okay, bye-bye, Longstacks, although we might not be here for long. Owen became the tyrant of Badab. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because the administrator was screwing him over, and he needed help, and they weren't giving it. And then they declared him traitor for taking more resources. Yeah. Got assembled a few miniatures of the Astral Claws recently. Ooh. Astral Claws are pretty cool. Oh, no, I'm thinking Celestial Lions then. But here we go. Here is... I think we've finally done all the base colours. I think... anything that we're missing, we can effectively just go over while we're doing other stuff. So I think next time we'll work on getting all the metals actually being metals. I do like that rust effect on the side. We need to get it on the top part there though. But yeah, that looks cool. And if we get the rest of a model like that, I think it will look nice. You think it would be a good start for Kill Team? Astral Claws. I have no idea. I don't know what the Astral Claws would be for. Like what Kill Team. But give me a moment. If you not like the stream already, please like the stream. Oh, guys. Being visible is old hat. Look, new stealth suits. We got stealth fields. Oh. Oh. Like, there's no Astral Claw Kill Team, is there? I got a bounce, just being informed we're out to milk and I kind of want some crisps. Okay, goodbye. And that's actually a relatively good time because I'm thinking, wait, is Bri alive for somebody? No, accordingly not. That's sad. So there's no one to raid into at the moment that I know of. Yep, okay, so that's it. We'll just end the stream. We'll go and end the stream here, but ow, thanks for the food. I am actually going to get some food because in 3 hours, well, 2 hours and 45 minutes, we'll be streaming again, but it'll be a member stream. And we'll be making some Dwarven Rangers. Well, actually not Rangers. We're making Dwarven... Thanks for the can of cola. Some Dwarven Thunderers. Yeek! With magnets. Thanks for the stream. Thanks for coming to the stream. Yeet! Big old hearts to you all. And remember to work hard but play harder. Take care of yourself and be kind to others and vice versa. And remember, sleep well. Eat good food. Dream of cupcakes. Thanks for the big love. But don't eat cupcakes because they're friends, not food. Yeek. Bye-bye, everybody. Is it this one? Yeah. Love you all. Oh, gosh, click.